Welcome to the XY Advisor podcast, where it's our goal to help you become the best financial advisor possible and drive the positive evolution of financial advice.
Hey guys, Emily from the XY team here. Now, if you missed last week's episode, let me quickly get you up to speed. Ben from XY is taking over as we bring you a brand new series looking at the 3 Ps: plan, produce, profit, which we believe are the key elements that make a great financial advice offering and business. In today's episode, Ben sits down to chat with Andrew Debono, director, advisor, and total legend of Peak Wealth Management, to find out what went into the planning phase of his business, which kicked off in November 2018. This episode might be short and sweet, but it is full of plenty of financial planning gold.
As you scale your advice business, are you frustrated with the amount of compliance, paperwork, and staffing issues? Virtual Business Partners specializes in helping financial services firms in 4 areas: admin, paraplanning, bookkeeping, and marketing. Virtual Business Partners work with you to get your business offshore ready. This includes identifying what tasks need to be done locally and what functions can be managed offshore. Advisors find they can reduce back office costs by between 50 and 75% and significantly improve their task turnaround times. For more information, go to virtualbusinesspartners.com.au.
Well, Andrew Debono, rising star, superstar, mate, thank you very much for joining us. We're talking about this plan, produce, profit series, talking all about planning your business, and super keen to chat because of the fact that because of how fresh your business is. I see you out there getting out and about, kicking some goals, which is awesome to see. But I wanted to grab you in at this early stage to see, what the lessons and how things are going. So, mate, welcome.
Thank you, mate. Absolute pleasure.
Great. So, look, before we jump into the questions, I've got a few quick ones for you. So, time. This is a bit funny, but time. When did you start?
Yeah, so I started November back end. It was, I think, November 13th last year, 2018.
Great.
So not the best timing when you think about it in the lead up to Christmas, but had to be done, and didn't want to make any excuses really.
Perfect. So we're 8 months-ish in.
Yeah.
What's your team look like at the moment?
Just me, myself, and I.
Solo. Good. Yeah.
Completely solo.
Yeah. Did exactly the same thing myself for the first year, apart from a VA that I neglected for a little while until she quit. So you probably left for that. How long have you been in the industry for, though?
Yeah, so I started it was 2014, so 2nd of October 2014. There you go.
Okay.
Good memory. Remember those dates.
Very nice. Cool. So coming up 5th year. So
yeah, 5th year. Yeah.
And previously announcer.
Yeah,
just announcer.
Yeah, so it was announcer. Then they did merge with In Focus, but the branding was still announcer when I left. So I think it's just changed earlier this year.
Perfect. Yeah. And how much time at the moment are you spending working in and on your business?
Do you want a percentage value of my day, or
no, on a weekly basis?
On a weekly basis, I reckon I'd be doing about on average 11-hour days.
Okay.
So 55 hours.
5 hours. 5 days.
Yeah, 5 days, and then sometimes throw in a Saturday. Probably every second week I'm doing a Saturday for client meetings.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And can I ask you revenue?
Yeah, go for it. So I finished up last year $60,000. So it was the first sort of 6 months.
Okay.
This year I'm pushing forward. So I think I worked it out actually back in the last year. Part of my planning was I've got about $70,000 in business to fall this side of the year.
Yeah.
And then I've got ongoing revenue built up around 80,000.
Wow, that's cool.
It's pretty good.
8 months in, mate. That's
well
so
done. It's gone. Yeah, it's gone pretty quickly.
That's great. We were just having a chat just before, and talking about that. You're saying it was easier than you thought it would be.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I thought it would be a little bit more difficult. I guess it was just good that announcer built a great great business which allowed people to succeed and build clients organically and naturally. And I think I've learned very well from that. And once you go out on your own and you've got no salary spotting, you just go a bit harder, I guess.
Some pretty serious motivation behind making it happen, get a few pennies in the bank. So,
that's exactly right. Yeah.
And I think also what I said was that, before, when you're very early on, you've just got these new clients, everyone's new, and there's no ongoing or much less ongoing stuff until you really build up that, and then inquiries come through, and then the questions and the reviews and the bits and pieces. So it's that bit of I found at the start, it's like, oh yeah, this is easy. Yeah. And then it gets to about 18 months and you go, holy crap, more and more and more. So
yeah, I'm waiting for the reviews part. I'm starting to plan for that at the moment.
Yeah.
Making sure I've got a good process in line for that. And just trying to be on the forefront of it really.
Yeah, very important.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
And what is your ideal client look like? Do you have a specific niche that you work with?
I've gone down, so there's no specific reason for it, but I did target marketing and advertising professionals. So I did a HBDI test to understand how my brain thinks. I'm pretty analytical and numbers focused.
Yeah.
And I looked at myself and my relationship with my partner Sarah, and she's very creative and on the red side. She's a school teacher, like an arts and English teacher. So we're we're polar opposite in terms of the way we're thinking, but we work very well in terms of, as a team, combined and also, emotionally and the way we communicate as well. And I thought, all right, let's try and target people in that, creative space or, creative and emotional sort of space. And I thought marketing and advertising would tick that box and branding. Yeah. And also, so far it's worked really well, but also the fact that those people are all located in the CBD, like all those employers are in the CBD. So it's easy for me to meet. So I don't waste heaps of time sitting in Sydney traffic. I don't have to go on massive commutes. So
perfect.
Yeah, it's worked well.
And did the fancy suits come after the niche, or did you have the fancy suits already? That's just a nice natural client. I did actually loosen it up a little bit, to be honest. I used to previously at the announcer, I used to always have a tie, always well-manicured suit. Now I've I just change it depending on who I'm going to see that day. Like I don't have no formula to that at all, to be honest. Yeah, I know that when Ray came into the business, he was formerly from a very traditional company where it was a lot of you wear the suits every day, and that's how it works.
Yeah.
But I threw that out a long time ago, and I think clients like that. You're being a bit more just genuine, maybe genuine is the wrong word, but a bit more. You're not trying to put on any pretenses, and you let your work stand for itself. Yeah. And
it's very important, I think, especially when you're a one-man show. You can't go trying to fake it, really. Yeah, well, there's no point trying to fake it.
Yeah,
you can't hide behind much.
Yeah, I know when I started wearing T-shirts to the office, and then I'd occasionally have a client that would come in and it would be someone making, say, $500,000 or someone with a whole bunch of assets behind them, something like that. And at the start, I think, oh, should I put on a shirt? And then I was like, no, I shouldn't, because why should I change for that? It's just that's how it is. And if you connect with what we do, then then great. Let's do some stuff together. If not, then that's okay.
Yeah, exactly right. It's all, at the end of the day, it's all really what's in your mind and what's in your heart, and so if you can make that work, then there's no real difference whether you're wearing a suit, t-shirt, or a singlet. Surprised you didn't want that part.
Oh, mate, I've got track pants. I've got some runners on here. Shorts in summer. It's a bit chilly for the shorts.
Yeah, a bit of that. Yeah.
Cool. And so, what areas are you advising people on? What does a standard sort of client get?
Yeah, so pretty much everything besides self-made super funds.
Right.
Yeah. So
mortgages.
No, I don't do mortgages.
Okay.
So I do
all the
planning stuff. Yeah. So insurance, super, investments, margin lending. What else? Estate planning, retiree stuff. Yeah, it's pretty much all that. I don't have too much retiree work though.
Yeah.
So, but pretty much everything besides self-made super fund, stayed away from the self-made super fund space.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's a bit of it's a complicated space, and I find that with that sort of stuff, it's it's hard when I was just chatting to someone before, and when you want to build your model, like your back end at the moment, so you can sort of patch it together. When you start building a team, then you're looking and going, well, how do I allow my team to work efficiently as well? And the more different sort of processes and the things that you need to do, the more difficult it becomes to do that. So I think you got to stick to your lane.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think I don't know, the belief side of it for me as well. I'm not a big fan of them, and don't really like. I've just seen so many self-managed super funds which are done poorly, and they've had a detrimental impact on the client.
Yeah. I think there's a bit of that out there. There's a fair few shonks in the property space as well, like Flogger self-managed super fund, Flogger property, not so good. But also, for me, I don't know. My view is like if you're for younger people, then they're trying to buy a property. They want to buy their home or they want to buy an investment property. For older people, they've probably already got a bunch of property. Yeah. So it's like for me, I don't think unless you've got a massive share portfolio and the franked dividends in self-managed super fund, that can be quite good. Yeah, but other than that, or property, I don't see any reason for it. It gets so much cheaper with so much less work. From a wrap or from a bunch of the industry funds that come out with a lot of good stuff these days as well. So, cool, man. So tell us a bit about your background and then what led you to launch your business and your story to get to here. Yeah.
So background, I was pretty fortunate because I was when I started Announce, I was 21. And I got into the space of advising pretty much straight away from finishing uni. So I did I think it was probably 3 or 4 months full-time uni, full-time work. But then finished that and then graduated and then got licensed pretty much straight away. So, I was 20. I think I just turned 22 when I first got licensed. And it was a bit of a sink or swim sort of mentality, and it was like, here you go, have a crack. We've given you the opportunity and go for it. Yeah. So I started off then, 22, started advising pretty much straight away and started building that client base from scratch. So we weren't given there's no book or anything like that I had. It was all organic.
Right.
And I built it up. By the time I'd left, there was 89 clients. So I built up a book of 89 clients in about 4 years, which is good. And then, a few things sort of started to change. And then, I'd spoken to the guys there, Announcer, and there's a little bit of an opportunity for me to go out on my own and stay licensed with Infocus. Yeah. So I thought about that and I thought, all right, I've done it once before, so I think I can do it again. So, just stepped out of my comfort zone and gave it a crack, really. Right. Sort of want to be the master of your own destiny at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think it's having flexibility in what you do and wanting, if you want to do things differently, then being able to do that as well. I think it's good to have that element of control. So you're licensed with Infocus now?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Sounds like a good group from...
Yeah, they're very good. Yeah, very stringent in the compliance stuff. It's frustrating at times, but you have to definitely respect them and very appreciative. Yeah, very appreciative. Yeah, exactly right. It's good.
So tell me, what was how did you approach sort of planning around your business and creating what your service proposition would ultimately be?
Yeah, I guess I used a lot of the things that I'd learnt previously because I did genuinely believe a lot of those things were good and the best thing for the client. I really did focus on trying to help time poor people. And sort of trying to create an environment or a process which would assist those sort of people and make it nice and efficient and easy for them. Yeah. So a couple of things there is when I sort of built the business, I wanted to focus on the foundations, making sure that people's foundations are in order. And it's pretty crazy, to be honest. Even with all the news articles, Barefoot Investor, the posts and all that sort of stuff, there's still so many people with multiple super accounts.
Yeah.
So it's just little things like that. You're consolidating that, getting some proper insurance in place, estate planning, and then getting a bit of a cash flow sort of strategy. Yeah. And then from then, focus on the ongoing service with being proactive and trying to help them, achieve their goals. So very, very goal driven, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's changed since you started? And I know I suppose it's only a really short or not, too long in the grand scheme of things, but what have you changed since November?
Yeah, good. So since I first started, there's a couple of things, and these were part of the reasons for me going out on my own as well. It was around the investment strategies and with that and discussing it with clients. I was a pretty big believer of the model portfolios previously.
Okay.
And it was something that we used to, it was something that we discussed with clients quite a lot, and we were very proud of it.
Yeah.
I think now, and as I evolved and actually learned more in the advice profession, I find that advisors building model portfolios and working all that hard for them don't add a significant amount of value to the client. That was one thing. So the investment philosophy has changed since I initially begun. That was something I was always thinking about it, but it was something that I didn't really want to. I just didn't see any value for the client at all. So I thought, let's adjust that and make that what I believe is appropriate.
And what does that look like now?
So I do multi-manager. I do mainly index sort of investments. So Vanguard's a pretty common one. And then I sometimes have a discussion around clients' perception and risk appetite, volatility risk appetite. So I'll look at blending some dynamic asset allocation sort of funds in there, but still pretty low cost, really.
Right. Yeah, I find it's one of those things that when I first started when I started in the previous business that I was working in, it was a mortgage broking and a lawyer that they brought me in to build a financial advice offering. And, I'd never done investments because it came from Dixon Advisory, where they separated out the investment advice, which is they're in a bit of hot water for at the moment, from the financial advice where I was, just that one on the record. And they, so I'd never done investment advice before, right? So I started doing some research and I was talking to a bunch of guys, Jeff Direct from, they were PIS at the time, the Everlasco guys, champions, shout out Jeff. And was asking them about what they did in their business, asking a bunch of other people as well. And like I do with a lot of things, I sort of figure out what I think works for me with my clients and my service and the way that I want to go about things, but then merge it together. And I started building out these portfolios, and I got my spreadsheet and I'm looking at the reports and I'm looking at the returns and I'm going, holy crap, like these clients are going to do pretty good, you know? And the reality is they actually did do quite well. The portfolios themselves performed quite well, but I had the ones at different levels. So there's like an up to $50,000 portfolio, the up to $150,000 portfolio. And over time, when it got up to, I was getting like $500,000, $1 million clients. And then when it came over to review the portfolios once a quarter, oh my God, it took so much time. And it was a little bit of that, but more just doing the research on the funds themselves and making sure that it was the right mix, that it was that everything was performing, that the managers weren't changing, that the strategies weren't changing, all the things. And I was going, holy crap, like surely this is not the best use of my time. And I actually started getting really nervous because I was like, in addition to the time wasting, I was like, I'm managing more and more and more money. Like I'm managing millions of dollars of people's money, which I'm going, holy shit, like that's pretty serious business. And I just thought to myself, like this, there's got to be a better way. And for me, we're like almost 100% passive now. And I find that I know when I put someone in the Vanguard High Growth Index Fund, I know exactly what that fund is going to do. And you're never going to get that angry phone call if you do that. It's just like where the markets are. So I think that approach is good. And plus it allows you to focus on the things that are important. As an advisor, we're going to have to focus on. As a business owner, you've got even more. So I think that, it's about where is the true value. So I think that's a great one.
I think it was from, it was a Morningstar presentation where they brought out a wheel which showed how advice add value to clients. And it was a fantastic thing. And like the building the portfolios was, I think, 1/13 of the total wheel. So it's like, all right, why would you spend 50% of your time building the portfolios when it's only adding value of
or 50% of your time talking about it?
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, exactly right. So,
and you build your offer around that, and then you cop it when there's a decline in market.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Cool. So the investments have changed. Any other substantial changes since November?
Yeah, the fee model. So I stepped away from the percentage-based fee. I think Clayton had a great discussion about that. I saw that video on LinkedIn the other day, and so I stepped away from the percentage-based fee model and went to complete fixed fees. Okay.
Are you a commission on insurance?
Yeah, I do commission on insurance. Yeah, still do that.
And look, I think I was just having this chat on another podcast with James Miller, and we transitioned to that to fixed fee only, no percentage based fees. I think percentage is a almost within reason. It's a somewhat accurate way to charge for the fees at different levels. Like a $50,000 portfolio is not much work; you don't get paid much. Yeah. A $500,000 portfolio, it is more work, but it's actually the more different levels that you get, I think it skews things out. And again, it's I think it's that transparency is very valuable for clients as well.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's been so far it's been taken pretty well, to be honest.
Yeah, great. And so do you have different sort of tiers, or is everyone custom in terms of the service that you give them and the fees that you charge?
Yeah, no. So I do have sort of 3 tiers. They're all aligned with my business name, like Peak Wealth Management. So I've got the basic sort of package, which is at the summit. So they're just beginning, just starting off. Then I've got on the climb, so it's the second tier, and the third tier is at the peak. Okay. So it sort of breaks out. Yeah, it's the service package is different for each of those sort of 3 levels.
Yeah.
Majority of my clients, however, have fallen in the middle, sort of on the climb, or wealth accumulators, really.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've attracted so far.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Well, I think you sort of tend to attract people around your own age.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Connect. So, and how did you come up with those packages? What was the process that went behind it? Was there a process?
No, not really. It was just I felt like I looked back at the client base I'd built up, and I felt like there were 3 people typically, or 3 typical clients. So there was people who were just starting out, looking at trying to get into investments, struggle with saving and cash flow. Then there was the people who had something behind them but just had great incomes but didn't know what to do with it. And then there was the people who have done really, really well, got a nice little asset base, and they just need someone to help guide them through those difficult times, the pensions and all that sort of stuff, and you're just setting things up for the future, really. So it's a bit more not as hands-on.
Yeah,
that makes sense. But so I just thought, all right, there's those sort of 3 people, and I'll build 3 packages around that.
And do you, in terms of from a charging model side of things, do you charge? Is it a standard fee for the different ones, or is it custom depending on the person and the work that's involved?
Yeah, good question. It's pretty custom. So, and the reason why is you do get the odd person who's got 5 or 6 super funds that you need to research.
Yeah.
So I have to sort of build it. Yeah, I have to build it for each person individually. But majority of people fall in similar categories.
Yeah.
There is just the one-off person where you've got to charge a little extra because a little bit more extra work.
For sure. Yeah, cool. Okay, and so thinking back on the last 8 and a bit months, what's one thing that didn't work that you were almost sure would?
One thing that didn't work that I was certain would. I would say, all right, I had a very good friend of mine, and he's got a fantastic mortgage broking business. He completely specialises in working with lawyers.
Okay.
So just very niche, barristers, lawyers. He's a very good friend of mine, and we caught up prior to me beginning the business, and he said, mate, I want an advisor to refer my clients to. I trust you. Vice versa. And he goes, if you can do a great job, and then you can refer me people. So we got into a little bit of a relationship. We were sharing an office together as well. And
I think I saw some videos.
Yeah, you would have seen some videos there. Yeah, that was his one of his business partner. And I just don't get along with lawyers. It just didn't work. Like it was, we were certain it was going to work, and it just, there's a couple that came on, but we looked at the data. So I think it was 33 referrals from him.
Yeah.
31 of those were lawyers, and I only managed to get 2 of them on board.
Oh, wow.
The other 2, so the 2 to make the 33, they were, one was in telecommunication sales, and the other one was an emergency doctor, and his wife was a marketing manager.
Okay.
I signed both of those 2 up.
Right. Okay.
So
Interesting.
it just didn't work.
Yeah. I think it's like that thing you mentioned with your partner and the different dynamics that, some people, if it's too much the same, you just don't click.
Yeah.
I know that for us that we do a lot of work with sales, creatives, a bit of marketing, advertising, communications as well, like the lovely PR with our PR ladies. We've got a ton, and they all said, well, I think every single one of our clients is PR is women. But you don't. It's people. That you have to have that affinity there. Like there's a level of that and the match. So
I just didn't get along with them. And it was. I was certainly going to work anyway.
So what you just decided to?
I do. Yeah, exactly right. So we just we didn't. It wasn't like we just completely split, but it's just like, all right, guys, it's
not working.
Yeah, it's not working, and I think we just need to be a bit more selective on whether people, on people you should refer to me and vice versa. So so far it's going on.
Yeah, cool. And what's something that did work that you didn't think would?
Yeah, the biggest thing would be then I was getting great leads, and it started off like straight away. I think the first week 10 leads, and I'm like, all right, this is going to be awesome. None of them converted, and I went, shit, I need to find plan B. So I started thinking about other ways I could build business, and LinkedIn was something that I have used in the past. So I just got pretty active on LinkedIn, doing some videos, connecting with people. So I was being pretty forward. I think you do that quite a bit as well. And trying to book in meetings and speak to people, go for coffees, and that worked really well.
Yeah, right.
That worked really well. It was great reception, and you invest a fair bit of time in it, but I think the time you invest in it is so worth it.
Yeah, I think it's it. For me, I found that, and I know that it's not that other people have had success on platforms like Facebook and Instagram. I know like James, who I was talking to just before, he has done a lot on Facebook and got a lot of traction through that way. Yeah. For me, I've really struggled with those platforms. Although Instagram, we got a lot of action at the start, although it's sort of come off now that they've changed how they do things. But I found that LinkedIn is great. Everyone's there. It's a lot of professionals. It's the sort of people.
Ticks the box. Yeah, exactly right. You can tell. You can find your target client or your perfect client so easy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Sales and ad is
awesome.
great. The targeting that's on there is pretty.
It's fantastic. Very good.
Great. Cool. And so, what if you could go back to November? What would you have done differently?
Tried to get a different referral network. What would I have done differently? I would have. I don't think there's too much different I would do.
Lucky you got plenty of time to figure out some stuff.
I think I executed it pretty well. I was pretty concerned around the cost side of things, so I didn't want to put myself into a big hole to get going, building websites and all that sort of stuff. There's a couple of things where I would like to fix up, which I need to fix up, and that's probably with the SEO and making sure you come up on Google pretty quickly and you're not like 3 pages behind, and just fixing up the website and fixing up a bit more about the company branding. I think I've done fantastic on my personal branding, but not so much the company branding, which you kind of want to pair. You want them to be working together well.
Yes,
that's probably one thing. That the marketing and the branding side of things, I've done that. I've just tried to do that in a low cost manner.
Yeah. I think it's easier for your personal brand, right? Like when you do that, because it's just you getting yourself out there. Social media is a great tool for that. People invest. People are more attracted to an individual than a company, because you've got to build this whole brand identity that sits behind it. So it's definitely much more challenging. I know it's something that we found that people know really me, but the business, it's that, strength behind. So
yeah, certainly. Yeah.
You've got to you got to try and sort of find that balance.
Yes, and I think that's important as well if you want to attract people to work with you as well. Not clients, but if you want to build employees and all that sort of stuff, I think you got to think about that and have a good brand, because otherwise it looks like it's just you and that employee is not going to feel special.
Yeah, for sure. I'd agree with that completely. I know that you're still like flying solo, but and we were chatting just before about we've grown like our team for more than double in the last 6 months. But both of we've got Luana and Chloe who joined us from on the like client success side, like future advisors, but still just helping out behind the scene. Well, behind and in front of the scenes, but that sort of a CSO type role. Yeah. And for both of those guys, they wanted to work in a business that they could see that there was some tangible stuff behind it, and that they had seen some of the stuff we put out there, and then they wanted to, especially I think with the Royal Commission and all of these changes, and you see that the businesses where the business models are holding on to the past, they're really focused on how are we going to protect these revenue streams, or how are we going to replace the revenue streams that are there, or how are we going to get up to our compliance, and how are we going to make sure that we're not doing any of the things that you're not supposed to do, or that they're now telling you that you're not supposed to do. And it distracts all of the focus and attention from how do we create an awesome client experience, how do we make sure that we're growing well, how do we building our brand and authority in the marketplace. So I think I was blown away when Chloe, who was the most recent sort of team member that's joined with us, she was like, oh yeah, I knew. And also from a recruiter perspective, that I put the thing out on LinkedIn. I used Seek. We tried to recruit ourselves with the user recruiters, didn't have a great experience. Yeah. And that was how we got the person. I had like 85 applications from Seek, but one application from LinkedIn, and it was the person we hired in the end. So I think there's definitely that benefits of the brand on top of the...
Did you advertise that through your personal LinkedIn or your company LinkedIn?
Personal.
Yeah.
I didn't advertise it. I just shared it. I put it on Seek and I just shared it. I just shared it out, and I asked the other guys to share it around as well. It works. So.
Interesting. So I think LinkedIn is not the best the best platform to be trying to build a business brand.
Yes.
I think LinkedIn is your personal self.
Yeah.
But I think maybe the Facebook and the Instagram might be more appropriate for the actual brand.
Yeah. I agree. I've done a little bit of stuff with the Pivot company page, but I know that I'll get probably maybe 20% of the like the views on videos or the engagement than what I do from a personal perspective. I think it's just their algorithm. Probably they just want us to pay for advertising.
Yeah, probably.
So tell me what would be your one top tip for someone that was about to go out on their own, about to plan an offering, or trying to plan an employed advisor trying to plan their offering within a business or with a bigger business that way, or someone trying to reshape their offer? What would your top tip be?
I think, look, personally, and probably one of the things I'm proud of, but also I think is helped me significantly, is don't try and build a business. Like, I think if you're going into the self-employed world in financial advice, I think you should be confident enough that you can build that business organically. Yeah. And don't go out there spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a client book or anything like that. I find, and the reason why I say that is I think if you did do that, then you're just going to be concerned and focused on trying to maintain that revenue, because you've either borrowed money or tipped in a lot of money. Which means you're probably not going to have a positive experience when building the business. So I think if you're going to do it, make sure you're confident enough to be able to do it organically. And if you're confident enough to do it organically, give that a crack, and it'll work out. It'll work out. So I think that's probably the biggest tip I would give.
Yeah.
I think you get the most satisfaction out of doing it all organically as opposed to relying on some recurring revenue that you bought from someone else.
I agree completely. I think I started Pivot from scratch, and I've spoken to other people that have books,
Yeah.
and they what you in my view from speaking to them, that you end up you're stuck with that model, and then people have engaged they haven't engaged with you and your nice service,
exactly right.
your advertising, that then you have to try and bend someone to your model, which is very difficult. I learned this when I was in the last company that I was at, where we started with a very basic model, and then I built all this stuff that I thought was cool, sort of the start of sort of advice I provide today. And then I tried to change it. I was like, I've got this great thing, and people are like, oh no, but I just want this other thing that I've already got. So I think it's sort of the same thing to a degree with the client. Plus, you also don't have the freedom that you've got now, where you can go out and build relationships, build your brand, do the things, build your processes. You're too busy. You hit the ground running, going, holy crap! I got to pay the rent on this book, and
and then you
do all of the
stuff.
stuff. Yeah, like it's. I think it's a tricky one. So great, I love it. I think it's good, and also that I think for me that you say you bring on $80,000 of revenue, you're paying $250,000 for that.
Exactly right.
It's when you can just go hustle for and you work hard for it, but you've got people that are in your model.
But it's probably the same amount of work as if you bought a book and had to maintain that book. So it's kind of you're getting what you want. It might take a little bit longer, but you're getting what you want in the long run. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, love those tips. I think plenty of gold there. Tell me a couple of quick ones for you before we wrap up.
Yeah.
What's your biggest stuff up, oops moment, or mistake?
The first one was taking on a few clients. I had so I outsourced my paraplanning, and I had a paraplanner who didn't have enough capacity to take on. I had 5 clients come on board at once, didn't have enough capacity to complete those SOAs in a timely manner.
Right.
So that was probably my biggest mistake. So then I went, all right, I need to find another paraplanner to make sure this doesn't happen again. So if I've got overload, palm it off to them.
Make sure you got the capacity.
Yeah, so that was the biggest thing. I thought I thought about keeping the cost low. So I had a paraplanner that was pretty cheap, and he was pretty nimble, but there was some times where he would take a little bit too long.
Yeah.
And went, all right, I need to find someone else just in case. Yeah.
Important. Cool. Yeah. What's the best piece of advice you've got?
Best people.
You don't have to say if it was from Roxy or not.
No, look, I was thinking his business partner also, Ray, and I think that was just back yourself. Like, I think if you've got to, just get out there and give it a crack. I think it's all about your personality and how you work with people. If you're good at that, then it's not that hard to start up your own business.
Yeah.
There's a couple of little things here where you're learning, like, shit, I've got to pay Bass this quarter, really? So you get those little shots here and there, but it's but yeah, like, I think if you're good at relationships, because we are in a relationship game, if you're good at relationships, then there's no reason why you shouldn't be starting your own business. Yeah. I think there's a lot of people, like a lot of advisors out there that I've met, that probably they definitely could start their own business, and they just haven't done it because they're scared or whatnot.
Worried. Yeah. Or don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
It's been interesting. I've been asking everyone how many hours they work on this thing. And, it's there's definitely a lot of. I think it takes a unique person to go. Yeah, I'm gonna go for that.
Yeah.
But that's good. And so, what's a top hack for organising yourself?
I'm a bit old-fashioned. I've got my little red book here, and I literally write it down on the train in. So I live pretty far out of Sydney, so I'm about an hour train ride into Sydney. So I literally organise my day every day on the train with my little red book.
Yeah.
So I write it down and then just go through it when I get in the office and start ticking them off.
Nice.
Yeah. So just write it down. I write it down. I know there's different processes and people do workflows and things like that, but yeah, writing it down just works for me because it always just sticks in my head.
Yeah. Good. And last question: what is your spirit animal?
I reckon I'm an eagle.
Eagle. Oh, look out!
Yeah.
Majestic. I like
I
it.
can see that. Yeah. Even though I'm scared of heights.
Nice, mate. Well,
Yeah,
Andrew, thank you very much for coming in. Plenty of gold there. Plan, Produce, Profit series, guys. Check it out, mate. Thank you once again.
Thank you.